We've all heard about the awakening of consciousness. Maybe some of us are even experiencing it right now, that moment when the veil of illusion begins to lift and reality starts revealing itself in ways we never imagined. But what many fail to mention is the dark side of this journey. Awakening isn't just a graceful ascent into light, it's often a descent into the shadows. It's not just about discovering bliss, but about confronting the very parts of ourselves we've buried, denied, or ignored. True awakening is not a doorway to escape. It's a revelation of everything, the beautiful and the uncomfortable. There's a common idea, almost a myth, that becoming more conscious means reaching a state of everlasting peace, a life free from struggle. Many believe that the moment we awaken, suffering simply fades away. But this is the first trap of the journey. It's the belief that enlightenment is a product, something to be attained rather than something to be experienced. The truth is that awakening does not erase the human condition. It does not remove our imperfections, our fears, or our struggles. If anything, it magnifies them, forcing us to confront what we've long avoided. True spirituality does not offer shortcuts. It demands courage. It asks us to stand before our deepest wounds and acknowledge them without turning away. And one of the first things we face on this journey? The ego, the carefully constructed identity we've built throughout our lives. The ego hates to be challenged. It does not want to be dismantled. And for those who seek awakening in hopes of elevating themselves, expecting to feel special or above others, frustration soon follows. Because true awakening does not feed the ego, it exposes it. The illusion of being superior dissolves, and we are left standing in humility, realizing we are not separate from existence, but simply a tiny wave in an endless ocean. This is where the disillusionment begins. Everything we thought we knew about ourselves starts to unravel. Beliefs we held as absolute truths begin to crumble. And this is uncomfortable because it takes away our foundation, leaving us in a state of uncertainty. But this is not a punishment. It is a purification. It is the process of shedding the false to uncover what is real. As consciousness expands, it doesn't just bring light. It also reveals our inner shadows. And the shadow is everything we have tried to hide. The jealousy, the resentment, the insecurities we've pretended don't exist. We like to believe we've moved past these things, but the shadow never disappears just because we ignore it. It waits, and it controls us from the unconscious until we face it. This is why shadow work isn't just a small part of the spiritual path. It is the path. It means coming face to face with the parts of ourselves we'd rather not see. And it hurts. It shatters the image we had of ourselves. It forces us to admit that even after years of seeking wisdom, we still carry baggage we wish we didn't. Our relationships, more than anything, reflect this. The people who trigger us, who stir deep emotions in us, whether anger, admiration, or fear, are often mirrors, showing us the very aspects of ourselves we haven't accepted. Carl Jung called this projection. What we suppress in ourselves, we tend to see in others. And when we finally recognize this, it becomes a profound tool for self-discovery. But integrating the shadow does not mean blindly embracing destructive behaviors. It means acknowledging our darkness so that it no longer controls us from the shadows. Because what we refuse to face owns us, but what we accept loses its power over us. This is why true transformation isn't about avoiding darkness, it's about illuminating it. However, the ego does not give up easily. It will try to cling to its illusion of importance. And one of its most deceptive traps is spiritual pride, the belief that because we are awakening, we are somehow more evolved than others. It creates a false image of enlightenment, turning spirituality into a title rather than a path of detachment. This is the mask of enlightenment. The ego, desperate for survival, disguises itself as spiritual superiority, turning wisdom into something to be flaunted instead of something to be lived. True awakening demands that we remain vigilant, questioning our motives constantly. It requires humility, because the more we understand ourselves, the less we feel the need to prove anything to anyone. And then there is the dark night of the soul, a period of deep existential crisis where everything loses meaning. This is the moment where the path that once seemed bright suddenly becomes void of direction. It is a time of loss, confusion, and emotional darkness. But this is not the end. It is a necessary transformation. Like a caterpillar dissolving into nothingness before becoming a butterfly, we too must endure the void before rebirth. And while it feels like the end, it is only the beginning of a deeper, more authentic life. The key to surviving this phase: acceptance. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." The more we fight the darkness, the longer it lingers. But when we stop resisting, when we allow ourselves to feel and process everything, the path through the darkness becomes clearer. Emerging from this phase does not mean we never face pain again, but it means we are no longer enslaved by it. We learn to carry our experiences with lightness rather than being weighed down by them. However, even after all this, the ego still tries to creep back in. It wants validation. It wants to turn spirituality into an achievement, a ranking system. But true enlightenment is not about being seen as enlightened. It is about living in a way that serves others. Because the deeper truth is this: awakening is not about reaching a final state of bliss. It is about embracing the fullness of the human experience, the light and the dark. It is an endless journey, peeling back layer after layer of illusion. And the more we understand this, the more we realize the dark side of awakening is not a mistake. It is the essence of true transformation. I truly hope this video has helped you in some way on your journey of expanding consciousness. Thank you for watching.